I'm Jasmine Anderson. Happening today, closing arguments in the retrial of a Patchogue woman charged in the death of an anti-gang activist. Anne-Marie Drago is accused of criminally negligent homicide in the 2018 death of Evelyn Rodriguez in Brentwood. Prosecutors say Drago hit Rodriguez with her SUV in 2018 after a confrontation, killing her. Drago's first conviction was overturned. Testimony continues in the trial of the Hempstead woman accused of killing an NYPD detective from Long Island. Yesterday, jurors in Queens watched police body camera video showing the moment Jessica Bouvet hit and killed Detective Anastasio Sakos of East Northport. Prosecutors say she was drunk and high when it happened on the LIE in 2021. Israel at war. Tensions are escalating as President Biden meets with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Biden touched down in Israel today for a diplomatic scramble. He's looking to prevent the war with Hamas from turning into an even larger conflict. Biden is also expected to push for allowing critical humanitarian aid into Gaza. The president's work becoming more difficult as outrage swept through the Middle East over an explosion that killed hundreds at a hospital in Gaza. Hamas is blaming an Israeli airstrike for the destruction, but the Israeli military is blaming a misfired rocket from another militant group. Governor Kathy Hochul is set to arrive in Israel later today. She says the Solidarity mission is aimed at showing support amid fears of expanding violence. Read more about the war and the impact it's having on Long Islanders on Newsday.com. Click Get More on the NewsdayTV video box on our homepage. The House is set to hold a second vote today to try and elect a new speaker. Republican Jim Jordan from Ohio fell short of votes needed to become speaker yesterday. Meanwhile, 3 of Long Island's congressmen set shockwaves.
I think so, yes.
D'Esposito.
Lee Zeldin.
Zelton.
Republicans Anthony D'Esposito, Nick LaLota, and Andrew Garbarino cast their votes for Shirley Republican Lee Zeldin. Now, Zeldin is no longer in Congress, as you know. He served 3 terms in the House and lost his challenge to Governor Hochul last year. We're waiting to see if the glitch that knocked Jake's 58's casino offline is fixed. The Islandia Casino Hotel says it was affected by a statewide service interruption by the gaming service provider. It knocked all the machines offline early yesterday morning and forced the facility to close. The Islanders honoring the Farmingdale High School Marching Band.
The members of the Farmingdale High School Band who are here with us this evening.
The team hosted 466 members of the Farmingdale community at UBS Arena last night. That included members of the marching band and family members of the late Gina Pelletieri and Beatrice Ferrari. The school superintendent told Newsday it was a helpful part of the recovery process following the deadly bus crash last month. A stunning reversal. Long Island's Alec Baldwin is facing the possibility of new charges in connection with that deadly movie set shooting. Special prosecutors are seeking to recharge Baldwin with involuntary manslaughter. They will present evidence to a grand jury. They say additional facts have come to light in connection with the shooting of a cinematographer on the set of Rust in New Mexico 2 years ago. Pickleball outrage, a heated battle in one local community over the fastest growing sport in the country. Steve Langford has a story you'll see only in Newsday.
A picture-perfect perspective of pickleball high above this lovely Oyster Bay neighborhood. But below, there's bedlam in the backyard here on Huckleberry Lane, some neighbors say, with the insistent sounds of the sporting sensation sweeping the nation, making a real racket.
It's a loud, frequent crack. It's like a ping pong ball, hollow sounding crack.
Brian Gaffney, his wife and 3 daughters, moved here last year just as the Pine Hollow Country Club repurposed some old tennis courts into a place to play pickleball.
We don't want to see them, and we don't want to hear them.
You see, it's not just noise pollution some neighbors are talking about.
I heard a gentleman saying that he had to, go to the bathroom and walk down the hill. I watched him put a racket under his armpit and proceed to, publicly urinate. My daughters were outside playing. I was sitting right there.
Gaffney and some other neighbors took their complaints about pickleball, public urination, and players' profanity to an Oyster Bay Town Hall meeting where Supervisor Joseph Saladino said he was personally outraged by a photo showing someone urinating right behind the fence, dividing the pickleball courts from the neighbors' backyards.
After we get the town involved, it seems like they started taking it a little bit more serious.
Pine Hollow Country Club tells Newsday it takes neighbors' concerns seriously.
We basically had our first meeting with the club owner.
After months of complaints, a few neighbors have held a Zoom call with representatives of the country club.
We're going to see how the remediation efforts impact noise.
Oyster Bay says its town attorney is exploring legal options, while the Nassau County DA's office says it has received a complaint for alleged public urination. Good soundproofing and good bathroom etiquette make good neighbors. Steve Langford for Newsday TV.
A back and forth dispute here. Read more about the pickleball fight on Newsday.com. Click Get More on the Newsday TV video box on our homepage. Sports now. It's win or go home for the New York Liberty tonight. They trail the Las Vegas Aces 2-1 in the best-of-5 series. Game 4 is tonight at the Barclays in Brooklyn. Long Island's Christmas Queen out with a new holiday campaign. There she is, the diva herself, Mariah Carey, and her 12-year-old twins are participating in their first joint ad campaign. It's for the Children's Place. Carey sings her smash hit as the family shows off different outfits and matching family pajamas. Checking out your hyper-local Wednesday weather, partly cloudy today, highs around 62 degrees. Tonight we get even cooler in the 50s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with highs in the mid-60s. And here's a look at your futurecast. Rain returns just in time for the weekend. Get your indoor plans ready. A look at your 7-day forecast coming up.
Long Island weather is brought to you by Home Tax Saver, PTRC Incorporated.
It's prime scary time, and one local haunted house is celebrating a major milestone. Elisa DiStefano takes us to Wading River.
25 years of scares.
We're a classic style haunted house. Our location is completely unique. We're in the middle of a field, so the moment you get out of your car, you are in our world.
The world of Dark Side Haunted House in Wading River was created by Mike Miola in 1998.
We had found this, abandoned barn after a lot of work, converted into the Dark Side Haunted House. The first year it was just the house.
Next, he built an outdoor haunted village.
When we start the haunt, it was a dark and stormy night, and you strolled past the graveyard.
It's not even night, and it's already pretty scary.
And 8 walkthrough experiences.
You were completely surrounded. The set is on you and, all sides.
There's no way out!
Mike makes the spooky sets and props.
These guys here, I made these skeletons here. We try to play on as many fears as we can. You like spiders?
Not particularly.
You're gonna love it in here.
Listen, I'm just happy I'm going through this in daylight.
The village has one experience, one type of experience, and in the house is like more confined.
Whew. Haunted house is this way, but you're gonna have to go in without me this year. We want to keep this baby in. Go ahead.
I get to watch the show from behind the scenes. It's pretty exciting to see, just hearing the screams and the people laughing and the families going through. It's like music to our ears.
There are 30 rooms inside the house and over 40 actors inside the haunt who have professional wardrobe and makeup artists on site.
We know that Dark Side is the best. And I think we all have the same drive to uphold the best.
How many people make this a tradition in their families and, come here year after year? Like we really strive to outdo ourselves. I was a kid. I was just a kid. I was 28 years old when I started, I could only dream that I'd still be doing this 25 years later.
Elisa DiStefano, Newsday TV.
Ooh, very scary. A quick tip for you. Make sure you're in the middle of the line. That way you're nice and safe. Read more about Dark Side on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the NewsdayTV video box right there. From hedgehogs to geckos, class pets have evolved on Long Island. Steve Langford has a story you'll see only in Newsday.
I've never seen her do that before.
The class hedgehog tries to flip over his fruit bowl, much to the delight of first graders here at Lenox Elementary School in Baldwin.
So we first started with a fish.
Mrs. McDermott's first grade class has grown to include a gecko, a hamster, a fish, a Mexican salamander called an axolotl, and the hedgehog that likes to snack on worms.
Oh, I can hear crunching it.
Everyone seems to be having a ball here, but there are lessons learned about social and emotional comfort.
We do a lot of talking about how the hedgehog does a lot to communicate with us and show us how it's feeling. It will curl up into a ball to protect itself.
6-year-old Caleb Clark is reading a book about hedgehogs to the hedgehog itself, which is snuggling somewhere inside the vest around his waist.
It kind of makes me feel calm and happy.
But what about during summer vacation? Who looks after these critters?
My house.
You take all the animals home?
I do.
She credits her husband with being very understanding, as is her supportive principal here.
Sometimes there's a class pet with a singular pet. This is the room that's full of pets.
If you give a mouse a cookie. Steve Langford for Newsday TV.
Read more about class pets on Long Island on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box.
Information about communities is lost if you don't have local reporters. And if there's no one reporting, how do you know what's going on in your community?
Newsday, covering Long Island like no one else can.
I'm Jasmine Anderson. Thank you so much for watching. We'll leave you with a look at your hyperlocal 7-day forecast.